Let's bring in Kevin O'Leary, O'Leary Ventures chairman. It's always great to have you. Let's talk a little bit about Kamala Harris. Not sure exactly what she's going to unveil here, but judging on based on what she has said so far, she's talking about creating wealth. The only wealth creation, Kevin, that I see here is for the government.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is for most of us, and I'm included in this as investors, we have to deal with who's ever in the White House on November 6th. So we're really, really hungry for policy, and it looks like we might be getting some. So a couple of questions are raised. So far, the Harris narrative regarding any distinct policy has been all sugar, no protein. And it's worked. I mean, we've got the tightest race, in recent times again. And all we care about are these counties in the 7 battleground states. But these people want answers. And I think for all of us, no more sugar, please. We need protein because a lot of us want to put on some muscle mass here. And we need to know what these plans are. If the idea of creating wealth is just more taxation, well, I know that doesn't work. And of course, we'll scrutinize those policies when we get them. And the other thing that I would call her out to do is enough with the celebrity interviews. Let's get some real interviews on the books with reporters like you that understand the narrative around business, the economy, migration, all of that fluff and kumbaya stuff with only, less than 60 days to the election. I get it. I get why she does it, but it's useless in terms of getting information.
So, Kevin O'Leary, you want to hit the gym big time, it sounds like. You want some meat from Kamala Harris. She's making a push right now to reach out to corporate leaders like yourself. What would she have to say this week with her economic plans to make you think, maybe she's the candidate for me?
I need answers. I'd be very specific. I'd say, explain to me why going up to 28% corporate tax rate, in addition to state taxes where large American headquarters are located, isn't going to force them offshore to Ireland, number one. Number two, this $25,000 on housing, why isn't that inflationary? Please explain that to me. Number three, when you start to talk about controlling prices, we know with certainty that doesn't work. We tried it in the 70s. Doesn't work in many countries around the world. Explain that to me. I mean, I know how to ask those questions. I'll do the interview. I'm happy to do it. And I know what the answers have to be in order to convince me. And I'm just one investor. I understand why she's reaching out to giant corporate leaders. Some of them are endorsing her. Others are hedging their bets, as in the case of Jamie Dimon, because he's a pragmatic guy like I am. And I have to deal with her if she ends up being president. But none of the policies I've heard yet are going to be pro-GDP growth.
Let me ask you about another one, Kevin. Climate policy. Big story in the Wall Street Journal today, basically saying all the efforts to jumpstart investment there aren't panning out because the world needs more energy and renewables can't deliver it. What do you need to hear from Harris to believe that she actually gets that, Kevin?
Again, more solid questions like the one you just asked. It's got to be a narrative on what policies specifically are going to be put towards this initiative that already in Dubai last year said is impossible. It is impossible to eliminate hydrocarbons unless you want to shut the world's economy down. It is possible to diversify from it in a schedule that's realistic, and every country is dealing with that now. And here in America, we are starved for energy. There's very few states that can add to the grid right now, and we need more energy for every single mandate, including keeping the lights on right through to growing the economy and being competitive. And all of that points to hydrocarbons in the mix. And I think now is the time to deal with that, because putting higher tariffs on this space, not giving out permits, and not opening up the ANWR is all bad for the economy. It's how it's done with the new technologies that can sequester carbon that we haven't talked about.
I do want to talk about inflation with you. I don't know if you read Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary's op-ed in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend. A few things stuck out to me, the first of which repeating that narrative that inflation is down. Now, the rate of which prices are increasing certainly is slowing, but as we know, prices are still up 20% or so in the last 4 years. Biden, Harris, and, the Treasury Secretary, they keep talking about economic success. But do you get the sense that sort of normal people on the ground don't feel that?
I know they don't feel that. I'm well aware. I've got plenty of employees. I know exactly how they feel. And I think of course, you're going to spin your book with, less than 50 days to the election. I don't blame her for doing that. But if you go to the ordinary family at the kitchen table in Michigan and tell them, you know, we're declaring success on inflation, they're going to throw some eggs and bread at you. That's what's going to happen.
Kevin, always great to see you. Thank you so much for being here today.
Take care.